What it do, guys? Manjoume here, and today we're going to be unboxing the Hyperkin Duke wired controller for the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. You can see they definitely took an homage or design aspects from the original Xbox's Duke controller. This was the first version that came out, and it is a fairly large controller, unlike the later iteration pictured here. That one was a lot smaller, and it was made for, like, I think Japanese hands, because they'd be, smaller hands to fit a smaller controller. So this was bigger for big chunky American hands. Of course, that didn't go so well, so they eventually went with the other design. However, Hyperkin has gone ahead and remade this controller in a way for the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. So we're going to do an unboxing of that. Taking out the front of the box, we see there is actually some cool stuff here. Xbox button plays original Xbox animated startup screen, which is really cool. So this, whereas in the original, it's just a logo, it's static, it's just a sticker underneath some plastic. This is an LCD displaying the startup boot up screen. You can see the different bits of it right there in screenshot form, and the buttons are a little different. I'm going to guess there's no memory card ports because there wouldn't be any. Although, you still have your sticks accounted for, your D-pad, your buttons for the most part. But the two buttons here, instead of being, let's see, back and start, it is now the contemporary buttons that are being used on that console, which is good that they did that. See that? Looking at the side, you see the profile of the controller, which so far seems to pretty much be fitting up to what we're used to. Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about seeing is that, of course the trigger should be fine. I wonder if they're going to put shoulders anyway, even though these shoulders are these white and black buttons. They might just do what some third-party controllers did, which was just have extra shoulder buttons, but they're the same thing as these two right here. Just also right here in case you like that better. And the other side, you see another profile shot of the controller. The top, Duke, not much going on there. Bottom, same deal. And on the back, we have quite a bit more information. Bumpers, mirror black and white buttons, well, there you go. Precision analog triggers, 3.5mm jack, and I don't even know if that was even a thing on these controllers. No, it wasn't. Not at all. Then the classic design featuring original Xbox animated startup screen played right inside the Xbox button. Vibration feedback for realistic experiences, and a 9-foot detachable USB cable. Of course, this is USB and it is wired. This was on pre-order from GameStop, and I don't know when it came out, but at one point I just said, you know what, the website says it's out, I'm just going to go get it. And they said, oh, we were just about to call you. And I said, just give me my controller, man. A very special thank you to, you have a few people here, very important people it seems, from the Xbox team and other such members. They must have been the people that helped make this happen. I think that's all that is. It's just a nice little thank you card for people, just to kind of know who helped, was behind it. The Hyperkin Duke wired controller quick start guide. I can't imagine there's much because it's really small. Let's see, the English section. Thank you for purchasing the Hyperkin Duke 4 Xbox One wired controller. For your safety and the safety of others, please carefully read this guide before using this product. Plug the provided micro USB cable into the micro USB port located on the top of the Hyperkin Duke. Plug the other end of the cable into an available USB port on your Xbox One or Windows 10 PC. The original Xbox startup screen animation will begin to play inside the Xbox button. Once it is finished playing, you can play it again by pressing the Xbox button. The logo will be present as long as a Hyperkin Duke is plugged into an Xbox One or Windows 10 PC. Note that the bumpers LB and RB mirror the function of the black and white button. So that's actually exactly what I thought it would be. And I think that's just what it needs to be. Because not everyone will kind of appreciate that or use that feature. Although there will be a couple instances where you kind of want to do that. And I like that they put in foam. It does give it more of a pristine feel. Let's see what else is in here. I think this is all that's in here. There's not a whole lot in this package, although you don't need a lot in the package. We have the USB cable right here. Slip that out. And you just have to see the ports. Yeah, that is just a micro USB cable and then just normal USB cable you would plug in. It's 9 foot, so that's a really good length. And since it's detachable, there's no worry about like interference in like a tournament setting. And if you just want to put it away, you can roll this up. This is easy to put away, and then this just kind of sits by itself. So this is really good to have. It's 9 foot, plenty of length in many situations. If this isn't long enough, then you just get a longer one. But this is long enough for most situations. Now the controller itself is pretty big, and it feels pretty okay. Of course, it's going to feel a little different from the original since this one is so much older. But putting them up right next to each other, I'm going to guess that they used the same molds and just kind of cut into them, because this is uncanny how close it is. I'm a little disappointed. Right here it says Microsoft. Here it doesn't say anything. It's just flush. Although it does have the 3.5mm jack. Appreciate that quite a bit. All the buttons are present. And one thing I think is most telling is kind of the placement of the black and white buttons. And the layout, they look about the same. So one instance where this might be preferred is just like a fighting game like Street Fighter, where you can go dun dun dun, because they're all kind of in a row. Otherwise you can still use these bumpers, which they're a little on the small side, considering they wanted to keep this design, so this portion right here. But otherwise, like, I think once you get used to it, that's feels pretty good. It doesn't feel especially substantial, but it feels pretty nice. And oh yeah, you can hear that button. That will be the LCD for the startup screen, and there's nothing yet because it's not plugged in, but we'll plug it in a second. But I like the way this feels. This feels big and girthy, and this will definitely get you through some playtime, especially because this is wired, so you don't have to worry about battery running out. You just have to make sure the thing's plugged in, and it shouldn't become unplugged in unless something happens, and you should more or less be able to see something like that happen. Now let's take a look at the LCD screen. So, using the micro USB cable kind of included. Oh wow, when I first plugged it in, it rumbled, and it kind of fits into that recess perfectly. So it looks like if I hadn't just plugged it in, and you can kind of see where it does in fact go in, you probably wouldn't even guess it. Oh, okay, so it's already doing the boot up screen. Let's play it again. That's really cool. Now this doesn't have any sound, so it doesn't play the sounds I would normally play, but at any press of the button, it resets the animation and it plays it once again, which it still looks pretty cool. Was it necessary? No, not at all, but it's kind of completing the kind of nostalgic feel. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Gotta say though, I think the LCD compared to the sticker, it is smaller, and it does look a good deal smaller. Although the circles I think are about the same, there's just empty plastic on this one. Though I say between the two, I like the green on this being more green than kind of this yellow apple green color. This one definitely is bigger, but I think I do prefer this one, especially because you can just do that, and it plays the whole boot up screen, which is really, really neat. Well guys, this has been my unboxing of the Hyperkin Duke wired controller for the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. If you want to stay up to date on my videos and live streams on both YouTube and Twitch, check out the links in the description below, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating. That's all for now guys. Manjoume out.